Are you always coming up with ideas? Do you marvel at successful business owners? Do you hate being told what to do? Ever take things apart just to see how they work? Are you a dreamer? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Pro Tapes and Specialties is the world leader in tape manufacturing and specialty conversion with over 40 years of experience. In addition to our pro brand of high-quality specialty adhesive tapes, we provide contract converting services that help improve your profitability, streamline your supply chain, and reduce inventory cost. We offer the most complete range of converting capabilities in the industry, such as cloth tape, double-coated tape, specialty tape, paper tape, masking tape, vinyl tape,
carton sealing tape, adhesive transfer tape, duct tape, foam tape, electrical tape, filament tape, foil tape, reflective tape.
And the tape just keeps on rolling. Visit us online today at www.protapes.com or call us at 800-345-0234. Pro Tapes, it's just how we roll.
Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Entrepreneur Enclave, Life's Coming Attraction. I am your host, Kevin Wortham. And today, man, I am so excited. I got my dear brother on the other line from Oklahoma, Robert Criner. What's going on, doctor? How are you?
I am doing terrific, fantastic, and phenomenal, Kevin Wortham.
All right.
Thank you for asking. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're going to jump right into the conversation, man. And so you are an internationally acclaimed motivational speaker. What brings you to that level in life?
Well, I think I call it the 3 Ps.
Yes, sir.
Purpose, passion, and persistence.
Yes, sir.
And so certainly the last part of it, persistence. You just continue to go on until you get where you're going to get. That's just the way it goes.
I love that. I'm going to move forward and then we're going to come back. Now, have you been really busy during the pandemic? Because so many folks have been out of work, not really knowing how to find themselves, not really knowing where the life is going to take them. So how has your purpose, your motivational planning been for them?
Well, like most people, I was sort of caught into the mix of a limited version of confusion. But the key, going back to what I just said about purpose, I had to find my purpose, redefine the purpose because you couldn't get out there. So one of the things that we did was just start to call people who were in our success network, Kevin.
Yes.
And we would call them and just encourage. And before you know it, we were doing phone calls and coaching calls and Zoom calls and all of those great things. And then we got to a point where we could actually do small groups of 10 to 12, spreading everybody out, masking up, and all of those things that we needed to do. So the key component is that we became very creative. And in our creativity, which is universal, it allowed us to stay productive. I don't believe in being busy. I believe in being productive.
I like that. I like that.
Anybody can be busy, okay?
Yes, sir. I like that. But let's start from the real beginning. How did Robert E. Criner become a motivational speaker, a success coach? How do you become such?
Right. Well, a great question. And it really started with seeing Les Brown years and years ago, August the 28th, 1989. And this guy just got up there and gave me some information and some energy and really helped me to focus on what I was doing. At the time, I owned and operated a small but successful billboard company in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That's in Texas.
Yes, sir.
And I basically met Les Brown. And Les Brown said, if you're ever in Detroit, he was living in Detroit at the time, he said, if you want to know how to do this business, I'll show you if you're ever in Detroit. And so I went to Detroit, and he worked with me for a couple of days and introduced me to some phenomenal people. Again, Zig Ziglar was in my own backyard there in Dallas.
Okay.
He introduced me to, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Tony Robbins and Wayne Dyer and Terry Cole Whitaker and some of the giants in the business.
Absolutely.
And so I was just smitten. There's a friend of mine by the name of, she's passed away now, but her energy is still plenishes the earth, and that is Dottie Walters. And Dottie Walters talked about the call. She said, when someone is doing what you are called to do,
yes,
you meet them on the road, and you said, how can I do what you're doing?
Yes. And
so that was really my experience, with Les Brown, and that's how I got started. Back in my first speech was January 15th, 1990 in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Wow. And since then, you've gone on to do corporate training and both private and personal coaching for some of your clients.
Yes, and that we do a lot of coaching and consulting programs. We're doing a lot of community work with mayors and city council folks. We have a program called Developing Unity in the Community.
Developing unity in the community, yes.
Yes, and it's an ongoing process. And so if you look at the word community, Kevin, the last 5 letters are unity.
Yes.
So the unity is already in the community. The community just has to know how to get there, the proper steps and strategies and techniques to get there. And that's what we at Sharing a Vision do for them.
Yes, I love it. So, but my thing is, because I think you and I met, I want to say late 90s in Mercer County here in Trenton, New Jersey, correct?
That's correct.
Yes,
back when I was back east then.
Yes. And you were very impressive, man. I felt your energy as well, man. So that was great. And I'd always called myself a lightweight motivational speaker, but man, once I met you, I said, I'm going to try to jump in these deep waters. Not there yet, but brother, we're getting there together.
Well, we'll get sign up for our coaching.
Yes, sir.
We'll get you there.
Yes, sir. But once we finish this podcast, I'm going to ask you to leave all your information so our listening audience can really become inspired and consider become a part of your team, your success network. But I want to ask this question though, Rob. So with this pandemic, it's been going on for so long. We know that people have been pivoting, changing lives, changing careers. In the midst of this pandemic, what advice would you give them if someone is looking to change their career?
Well, again, number one, you have to see what it is that you're into,
yes.
what you desire to do.
Yes.
It's important to do something that you love and that you can embrace, even in tough times. Robert Schuller said that the tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Yes.
And so the reality of it is that you have to get something that you desire, and number one, focus in on that and commit to doing that, and then build up your network of successful friends.
Yes.
And I want to say that again. Build up your network of successful friends. In other words, people who are not seeking to be successful, then you need to sort of put them to the side.
Yes, sir.
And then once you're successful, then you can pull them up.
Yes.
If need be. So the reality of it is desire, your network, your successful network, and then be determined that you're going to do it no matter what. Yes.
And I think the key for a lot of people is that no matter what, because at that juncture of no matter what comes trials and tribulations, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And at that point, you've got to decide how bad do you want what you want, because based on what you want, based on what you think you're passionate about, the kitchen sink is going to be thrown at you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Les Brown used to say this. He said all the time. He said there are going to be times when you just don't know what else can go wrong, and something else will go wrong. And the key is that you have to have tools, motivational and inspirational tools, to get through it.
Yes.
And the more you get through it, the more you practice, and the more you get better and better at it, you energize your mind, your spirit, and your body.
Yes. Yes.
See, again, a lot of people think about the spirit and the mind, but they forget about the body.
Yes.
And so the key is that you want to make sure that you are exciting yourself to the point where you are electric. Now think about that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? What if people went around, somebody said, "How are you doing today, Kevin?" You said, "I am electric." They
Yes.
go, "Whoa, what is that about?"
Yeah. I love it. Now I want to drop down a little bit, and I want to ask this question, right? This is just my perspective. Since the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, since those incidences happened in the country, where do you think the direction of the country is going in terms of the black and brown relationships, in terms of the mass?
Well, I think that we're at a crossroads.
Okay.
We're at a crossroads, and something that I spoke on this weekend to a community.
Awesome.
That we're at a crossroads in the sense of, what do we believe?
Yes.
The master teacher asked us the question, or made the statement, said, "It is done unto you as you believe." So what do we believe?
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, the belief is a concept of what's in you. What are you willing to provide? What are you willing to give? How are you willing to serve?
Yes.
Another powerful question. Wayne Dyer taught me this. He said, before you get up and speak, just ask the question over and over: how may I serve? How may I serve? How
Yes.
may I serve? How may I serve? And at some point, an internal answer is birthed within you.
Yes.
Woo!
How may I serve? Yes.
How may I serve?
Yes.
Because again, before the pandemic, there was all this self-serving.
Yes.
And then after the pandemic, or as we are transitioning through it,
Yes.
it has to be about service.
Yes.
This is why we at Sharing a Vision have decided to focus on community, developing unity in the community.
Yes.
And
Wow.
we're working with about 20-something communities. And I mean, it's from Dallas-Fort Worth to small towns like Vernon, Texas, which has a population of about 20,000 people.
Okay.
Now, within that frame, that's where you start. We have to create understanding for one another.
Yes.
And actually, but understand and know these murders and these killings have been there all the time.
Yes.
They ain't going nowhere. This ain't nothing new.
Yes.
So the reality of it is, we have to evolve in consciousness and handle it in a different way.
Wow. That's a lot to take in, and as you're talking, I'm trying to take that all in. But I think as the information is coming out, we know that there was some injustices done to us. And if I'm correct, you had mentioned that you're in Oklahoma.
Yes.
I'm reminded that about 6 months ago in May, we celebrated the 100th anniversary of the Negro Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yes.
So how do we justify that when we were just minding our own business and someone took it upon themselves to say that we were not supposed to live that life? I don't. How do we square that? How do we build unity in the community when you have people that still believe that we weren't supposed to live that life?
All right. And you're going to have that. You're going to have people who feel a certain way. There's nothing you can do to change a person's attitude.
Yes.
Or their perception of you.
Yes.
But what you can do is live your best self.
Yes.
Live your best life and move forward in your greatness.
Okay.
Now, again, you remember back when we first met, we did a program called The Mark of Greatness is Upon You.
Absolutely. And I use that often. I often conclude, man, thank you. I often conclude a lot of my meetings with people when I say the mark of greatness is upon you. So thank you, brother. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes. So in line with your question, Kevin, it comes down to this, that there's nothing you can do about the past, but you can do something about
Okay. Say
that
more.
takes that takes awareness. You
Yes.
have to be aware of your potential, your
Yes.
unlimited power, your divine power.
Yes.
And once you tap into that, you simply say, "Oh, okay, that happened then. We're going to make sure that that doesn't happen again."
Yes.
So we're going to build businesses. We're going to build minds. We're going to work with our children. We're going to cultivate positive communities, positive thinking, positive action, positive doing, positive education, and then just overflood it in our community.
Yes.
We have a responsibility to do that now. And then that creates the phenomenal future that we say that we want.
Yes. I like that. Now, let me ask this question. While you're building unity in the community, is everybody on the same page? I know I'm almost asking the same question again, but I'm thinking in those small towns when you have 20,000 people, are all 20,000 people on the same page? Are we all rowing in the same direction on the same boat?
No. And Dr. Martin Luther King said this. He said, it's always I'm paraphrasing, it's always a small minority that gets things to moving forward.
Yes.
So again, you're going to always start with a small group. But once you start that group, momentum settles in. And you start to build, and you start to build, and you start to build to the point where you achieve consciousness, like consciousness. So out of that 20,000 people, if you can get 500 people, you can shape or reshape the community. Got you. In fact, I'm reminded of a little song. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. You see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let the light shine. Yes.
Robert,
I do a little singing. I do a little singing too. Okay?
I was going to say, I'm thinking you're birthing another career, motivational speaker and singer, gospel singer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, I'll share this with you. Back in February, someone asked me, they said, "What is the difference between you and Les Brown?"
Yes.
I said, "Well, he charges more money." and I said, "But I can sing."
Yes, sir.
And the people laughed, right?
Yes.
And so that whole concept, again, I was brought up in the church and whatever. So that talent, that skill, God gave it to me, and it's always there. And I use it, brother.
And it sounds good today. It sounds good today.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
You know, so what's next for sharing the vision? Now that we're moving in 2022, what's next for sharing the vision?
Well, we're doing more coaching, one-on-one coaching and consulting.
Yes.
Because we're separating those people who have a dream versus those who have a vision.
Yes.
And the people who have a vision, we're working with them to create a step-by-step momentum perspective so that those individuals start to not only fly, but to soar,
yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
Through techniques and strategies like the program Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
Along with Dennis Kimbrough's version, which is Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice.
Yes. I love that book.
Just doing the basics, those strategies, those foundations are the starting points. Because again, part of the Shared Vision Success Network, if you're going to be a part of us, you have had to read and study Think and Grow Rich.
Yes. Because
if you haven't done that, then we're not on the same page at all.
And we can't even get started.
We can't even get started.
Gotcha.
Well, they can't get started.
Gotcha. Okay. Correction. I stand corrected. Thank you. They can't get started. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so what we're talking about is the mastermind principle.
Yes.
What we're talking about is PMA, positive mental attitudes. What we're talking about is the foundation of personal development, which personal development is beautiful, Kevin. It's beautiful. If you practice it every day, it becomes a part of you.
Yes.
And even if things happen, even if tornadoes happen, even if hurricanes happen, you don't look at it from the, oh my goodness, it gets sad and depressed. You say these words, how may I serve that community? Yes.
In spite of your own difficulties.
Yes, that's correct.
Wow.
That's correct.
Wow. And I know I needed to hear that, and someone else beside me needed to hear that, because, I too am going through my trials and tribulations, the peaks and valleys. And I've got to start to say to that, in spite of all, how can I serve? Wow.
Yeah.
That takes a lot to do. Wow.
Yeah. And the more you say it, again, the more it'll be revealed in you what your purpose is.
Yes.
Connecting you with your passion.
Yes.
Connecting you with persistence. So again, the 3 P's: purpose, purpose, passion, and persistence.
Yes, sir.
Equals success.
Yes, sir. Now I want to ask a question, and I want to ask a lot of questions, but my next question is, I think that we as African Americans, we are so reliant on our faith. How does faith and positive thinking and motivational speaking, how does it square itself with one another?
Good question. It is the essence of who we are.
Okay.
There's an old song that said, "How I Got Over."
Yes, sir. Are you going to sing that too, Robert?
No, I'm not going to sing that right now. But again, the words, when I look back and wonder how I got over it.
Yes.
Well, how did you get over it? Through the power of faith.
Yes.
Through the power of courage.
Wow.
Through the power of grace.
Wow.
And gratitude.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Now
the power of service.
I know one song that strikes me very similar is "Amazing Grace, How Sweet the Sound."
Yes, sir.
I forgot the rest of the words. I think I once was lost, but now I'm found.
Yes,
something
sir.
to that effect. Yeah.
That's awareness.
Yes. Yes. Wow.
That's the word. I call it the awareness song.
Yes. Wow. All right. So because we are a spiritual being, a faith-based being, then we can do more if we just tap into the faithful spiritual side of who we are.
Yes.
Okay.
But not only just tapping in, but then applying on a daily basis.
Okay.
That spiritual consciousness.
Okay.
That spiritual awareness, that spiritual acceptance. See, a lot of people, again, go to church on every Sunday.
Yes.
Every Wednesday night, all of that. But still, you can't tell the difference during those other days.
Got you.
So you want to let that light shine every day. In fact, the second stanza, and we do this in our workshops and our seminars, Kevin, where we talk about this little light of mine. But the second stanza, it says, "Everywhere I go."
Yes.
Now,
I'm going to let it
there,
shine. Yes.
I'm going to let it shine. Right there is the key component.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what enables us to be successful as we practice, again, our spirituality every day and everywhere we go.
Yes.
We let our light shine.
Yes. Yes. Now, my question to you is, when you're out there and you're moving the crowd and you're getting them to believe in who they need to become, do you have doubters that are in the crowd that show up to the workshops?
Sure, of course. That I have always, and you seek them out because you can sort of see them. If you ask a crowd to stand up and say, "My life is full of unlimited possibilities and the mark of greatness is upon me. I'm going to the top. I cannot be stopped because I deserve the best." And then you say, hey, let's clap our hands on that. And you can see people are not clapping.
Got you.
Well, those are the doubters, but they're not doubting you. They're doubting themselves.
They're
doubting the ability to expand and move to their potential for greatness.
So why do you think they come to the workshop? That's the part that I don't get.
Well, because they're seeking something other than themselves.
Got you.
They're seeking to do better.
Got you.
I mean, why was I there August the 28th, 1989? At the time, I owned and operated a billboard company. I had all the trappings of, quote, success, a motorcycle and a car and a truck and a townhouse. And I thought I would be doing that for another 20 years.
Yes,
and
sir.
Yet my meeting with Les Brown altered that state. to the point, so much to the point where I just said, this is it. I got to do more. I can be more. I can do more. I can have more.
But up until that point, you thought that your life was complete?
That's it.
But what?
That's it.
But what did he say? What do you continue to say to people that gives them the thought that life could be more?
Great question. This is what he said that night. He said, if you want to keep on getting what you're getting, keep on doing what you're doing.
Yes. Yes.
And then the second part was, he said, you can be more, do more, and have more.
Yes.
And so what is that? And so it set the tone for a vision, Kevin.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
A lot of people dream that they can do better. But when you have a vision to do better, what that does is it sends out a vibration in the universe.
Yes.
And in this vibration, it's done from this perspective. Whatever you are seeking is also seeking you.
Wow. And I use that one too. Man. Ooh. We're going to have to get together, man. We have to do the East Coast, West Coast kind of thing.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I'm open to that.
Now, let me ask this question. You talked about being in Oklahoma, and I think you had mentioned about having a ranch. Was that prior to, or was that after you became successful with the motivational speaking?
That was much later. Much later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you do workshops on your ranch?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
And number one, because of the liability that brings, and insurance costs, and all of those things.
Yes.
But we do operate from a motel or a hotel, and people allow people to stay there, and then we've taken folks out to what we call Spirit Mountain.
Yes.
And it's about a 54,000 square feet from the federal government. It's a wildlife refuge.
Yes.
And you can go camping and nature hikes, and you can do pretty much all of picnicking and all of that. And I was actually introduced to that when I was a child, years and years ago. And I always knew I would be living in this area in some capacity.
Okay.
Remember, whatever you're seeking is also seeking you. So
absolutely.
I'm right back where I wanted to be. And so it's really exciting. It really is exciting to bring people out to the area and do workshops.
Wow. I love it, man. I love it. What's next? Again, what's next for you? What's the next stop for you? Where does Sharing the Vision go?
Well, we're going to release in 2022 a book. It's actually for young people,
okay,
who are in challenging situations. It's called "It's Not Where You Come From; It's Where You're Going."
Yes.
And so it's derived from my own experience of coming up in the housing projects and all of that, and you never know where you're going to grow.
Very true.
You never know where you're going to go to what level. But if you have a vision,
yes, you
have unlimited possibilities, and you have to believe that they're there. So that's one angle. Number two, again, we're going to expand developing the unity in the community.
Yes.
We're going to expand it to Arkansas and Kansas and New Mexico and Missouri,
yes,
and certainly deeper down into Texas.
Okay. And then at some point, man, we've got to hook up and get you on the East Coast, man, because we are hurting over here too. And there's so many folks that would love to be a part of Sharing the Vision, to be a part of that impactful understanding of what it is that you do and how can their lives go to the next level. What steps do they need to take?
Well, again, certainly reaching out and developing a plan of action.
Yes.
And then applying that plan of action to make it come into fruition.
Yes.
So, again, I'm open to that. I'd like to just invite people to go to our website, which is IamSharingAVision.com. That's IamSharingAVision.com. And so that they can familiarize themselves with what we do and what we offer. Because that's the key component. Because what we have on the website is who we are,
yes,
and what we represent. And so I'm looking forward to working with you, Kevin, and I believe Rick Young is in the Harlem area of New York City.
I would love to meet him.
Put together. Yes, yeah, he is phenomenal. In fact, we do his radio broadcast probably every 2 months.
Okay.
And we do that because we want to stay connected to the East Coast.
Yes.
And as things settle in, we are going to be traveling to Jersey and New York and Connecticut, as well as Pennsylvania. We have some opportunities there that are really, really unlimited.
Well, certainly when you come this way, lunch is on me, dinner's on me, whatever we need to do to connect so we can get this going. But Robert,
I'll fast. I'll fast the days before.
Yeah, you're right. You will hurt my wallet. But with the time that we have left, one more time, tell us how people can reach you if they want to know more about what you do and how they can follow you.
Okay, our office number is area code 580-529-3052. Again, that's area code 580-529-3052. And our email address is recsharingvision@gmail.com. And then again, go to the website, which is iamsharingavision.com. It is just some phenomenal images there. In fact, we have a piece on there called the Optimist Creed, Kevin.
Yes.
Which people can download for free. And that gives you a tool where you can say the Optimist Creed every day, and it will expand your consciousness of the success that you want. In other words, you are in control of your life. You're in control of your actions to achieve your success. And don't ever forget that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Robert, we're going to end on that note. My man, Robert E. Criner, international acclaimed motivational speaker, my friend, thank you so much for being on the Entrepreneur Enclave, man. Let's talk and keep in touch. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Be well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That concludes another episode of the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. We hope you found this episode informative and enlightening. We look forward to you joining us for our next one. Until next time.